Okay, long time no see. I've been quite busy with life stuff, but hey, I'm back. And last week I went to the summer Potafes as I did in the winter about 7 months ago. And of course I got to try a bunch of new IEMs that just came out, so no dilly-dallying, let's get right into it about how I feel of some of these new releases. So first up, let's talk about products from Elysian Audio. I want to talk first about the Pilgrim, which is an IEM that I think lots of people have already covered, but I myself haven't heard of. The Pilgrim here, it has a really nice looking metal shell, a solid neutral tuning. It's got no weird tuning peaks or dips that make, the sound a bit weird. So all of this comes in at a pretty good price even. Although I would say that it doesn't have the highest resolution even for the price. I feel like the Dita Project M before, it still kind of edges out a little bit here and there, but again, a very solid neutral tuning. I think that others will probably have come to the same observations as I do, but it is what it is, yeah? And then you have the Pilgrim Noir. This is, I guess, the Pilgrim Sisters model, although it's kind of an upgrade. It has an extra balanced armature inside of the setup, but I guess the differences outside is that it has a black and gold color scheme instead of a silver one like the original Pilgrim. Honestly though, I like the stock cable of the normal Pilgrim more. I don't know, it just looks better. It's a slight tuning adjustment on the Noir that makes it a bit brighter in some songs, a bit airier sometimes, though I don't know, it kind of breaks a sort of balance with the Pilgrim. And I don't think that the extra balanced armature driver and a slight tuning change is justifying the price increase. So if it's down to me, I'd say buy the normal Pilgrim. Going to their flagship though, this is the good stuff. The Elysian Annihilator. I think it's the 2023 version, but yeah, a lot of people have heaped on hype and praise for this IEM. The Annihilator here, it's a similarly sort of neutral, bright-ish tuning like the Noir. However, it makes up with the low end, having more fun kind of bass presentation and slightly warmer lower mids that appeal to me more, with just massively improved sharp treble with lots of high-end detail. It's befitting of its flagship level product, yeah, but it doesn't have like that sort of sibilance that you see with IEMs that just boost treble. This is actually like the technical ability shining through. Safe to say, it lives up to all of the hype. I guess my only gripe here is that the shell design, it doesn't look that great to me, especially that gold color. Okay, next up, let's go to Tanchjim. First, I tried out the Tanchjim 4U. I guess, from the looks of it, you would think that, oh, this looks like a Moondrop Lawn competitor. And I guess the shell looks like that, but the proposition, I guess not really. So, of course, the standout point here is you have these this tuning switch that's kind of like a screw, which you can adjust with like 4 different bass levels. I tried it with the atmosphere setting, which is the one that shows the most bass on the graph. It gives you, in this case, sort of a sufficient amount of bass, but it's otherwise just the usual Tanchjim house sound. A bit bright at the lower treble registers, however, I do like that it is a bit bright, just to give that little bit more sense of clarity in the vocals and sharpen instruments. Changing the bass screw here, it doesn't necessarily reduce the overall bass presence. It looks like that on the graphs, but in real life, what it does is it keeps roughly the same amount of bass presence, but it reduces the thumpiness and the impact that the bass has. I do like that there's a bit of customization with this, although for its class, I think a $70 price tag is a bit high. So my advice here would be to wait for a discount. I think this thing would be really cool if it's like 40 or 50 bucks. 70, it's a bit steep. Now aside from that, the Tanchjim booth also had a new special edition for the Tanchjim Mino Truas that I reviewed before. It's sort of like a gold color, but basically it's appealing to the weeaboo design, right? So it'll probably come with a price premium, but you know, it's expected. And they also have the Luna, which is sort of a Moon River 2 competitor dongle. Also looks very appealing, at least the engraved Asano Tash design, the waifu stuff. That looks great. I just hope that Tanchjim will price it reasonably, because aside from the extra engravings, you know, basically it's sort of like a Moon River 2, so maybe price it around there instead. Now here's a weird brand you probably don't get to hear much about. It's Rosenkranz. These guys are known for making stupidly expensive cables, but they also look like candy because of they have weird color schemes. But yeah, they also make IEMs apparently. I got to try their IEM called the Kaizaki RK Silver / KA. Yes, quite a complex name. So the shell itself, I think it looks unique. It's really nice. I always like metal shells, so that's a plus. And I guess the odd thing is there's no filter on the nozzle at all. I guess we're trying to portray that it's purely the driver doing the work. We don't have any dampening, any filtering going on. I don't know how good is that for durability, but hey, that's their philosophy, I guess. Bad part is it sounds like it's trying to sound like an Akusun IEM, sort of this sort of punchy V-shape energetic sound based on a dynamic driver, but it's like a really bad execution of it. It has these really tinny treble that sounds like it came out of like an old style radio. Like there's just not a lot of clarity. It just sounds low definition, I guess, for the lack of a better word. There's no way this thing can compete in that price with so many good, you know, kilobuck stuff. So no. Now here's something for people who want bang for buck. The Shouer S08. Now, as you know, the S12 before were known as very competitively priced planar offerings with decent tuning, although some still found the treble energy just a little bit jarring and there's some unevenness in the frequency response. Now with the S8 here, it kind of looks like the Moondrop Lan again, if it ate too many cheeseburgers, but it sounds really great though. Combining sort of the good separation abilities of planar drivers with a warm sound, just enough of a treble roll-off for a non-fatiguing presentation, all for slightly less than Aristotle Series to boot, so it's looking very appealing for me. And I've saved the best for last. This for me is hands down the showstopper of this summer Potafes, and it is from a brand called Melodic Artification. Really, it's a nice name. The IEM's name is Alter Ego. Again, I'll have to praise the product identity and the name here. You know, it's got enough coolness without going into completely cringe territory, and it's got a metal titanium shell that looks cool without going too far into being gaudy, and it got me absolutely hooked with the sound. It's got a bass presentation that's not only clean, but that it has some of the most refined and present bass detail that I've ever heard in IEM, and no less impressive separation abilities in the mids and the highs, whilst maintaining a coherent and enjoyable tonality. There's also a tuning switch, which varies the sound slightly from sort of a neutral presentation to a more warm kind of signature. I got so hooked on this IEM that I just kept sitting at the booth listening to it until I got, you know, very politely kicked out, because I was holding up the people lining up to test it. It was that good. So I've heard that the Alter Ego is pretty much on demand right now, and you know, even if you pre-order, there's like a month-long wait for it to be shipped, and even then the thing itself is a whopping 2.5 grand. So Melodic Artification, if you need a review for this one, hit me up. I'm hella down for this IEM, oh yeah. Of all the IEMs I've tried in Potafes, I would say that hands down the most impressive one has gotta go to the Alter Ego. You know, it was a toss-up between the Annihilator and this, but the Alter Ego with its addictive sound, you know, it just won the show for me. And if I had the money, I'd buy this thing out of everything else I tried. Now the most bang for buck reward here, I'll give it to the Shouer S08. It seems like a really good value, you know, for a solidly built IEM with competitive technicalities and an appealing warm signature. And then finally, the stinker of Potafes. It's gotta be that Kaizaki RK Silver / KA. For being like a $1,300 IEM, it really doesn't sound like one. There's just no two ways about it. Thank you, Melodic Artification, for making an IEM that I wish I could buy. Congrats to Shouer, LETSHOUER, for making an IEM that I want to buy and actually can afford to do so. And Rosenkranz. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people buying your multi-$1,000 cable, so good for you guys. And yeah, that about wraps up my video for this summer Potafes. One last announcement though. Did you know that I actually have an X account now? Check out @Lumerion for real to see more posts about other Potafes releases that didn't make it to a video. I'm still going to be posting a lot of this stuff, little tidbits, extra stuff about Potafes in that account. I've been doing so for the past few days, of course. You know, just little extra tidbits, and in general, just more goofing around, alright? So if you want to see more of those shenanigans, check out my X account. Otherwise, yeah, alright. Bye.